It's Wednesday's devotion, and today we're just going to read one verse, Romans 6:12. Therefore, do not let sin exercise dominion in your mortal bodies to make you obey their passions. We've all heard of the seven deadly sins, right? Pride, anger, lust, gluttony, three other things. Um, that's not an exhaustive list, but it's a pretty good list to start with. But sins like that are sins of the passions. Um, you get, you're driving down the road, and it says go 20 miles an hour, so you slow down to 20 miles an hour, which is creepingly slow, but there you go. You're creeping along at 20 miles an hour, waiting for the period to end and get back to 35. And some guy comes running up behind you because he wants to go 40. And he doesn't have time for this 20. And he's, practically flashing his lights and blowing his horn. And man, that always makes me want to slow down to 15. And I kind of wish the light were turned red so I could get out and punch him in the face. And you don't do any of that because then it'll shoot you, but you want to. It makes your blood boil, And then as he, if he gets a chance, he'll go around you in the 20-mile-an-hour zone. If you're familiar with Newton, you know that place right above 11th Street where it's 20 miles an hour right in front of the train depot and stuff. And I've had people pass me in that little strip while I'm going 20 because they need to zoom ahead. Get to the next light, of course, and I'm right behind them going, see? But it just makes you mad, we get our angry like that. That's our passions rising up. We have to teach ourselves not to do that, not to be that way. There are other sorts of things happen with the other kinds of sins, but it happens to all of us. And so Paul says, don't let sin reign. Exercise dominion in your body, making you obey your passions. Because that's wrong. See, if you go through life obeying your passions, then you end up just doing all kinds of stuff, most of it bad, but you're just reacting to things, and that's not good. So, what do we want to do? We want to learn to control ourselves, control our passions, control our bodies, control what they do, because if we can control our bodies, control ourselves, then we're a long way toward obeying God. And so you have to learn to control yourselves. This is why the ancient church and some parts of the church to this day were so big on fasting. It's not that they just thought, well, we can make people eat stuff and not eat stuff, and they have to obey us. That is not the motivation. The motivation was, if we can convince people to fast for a few weeks at a time, they will learn to control themselves. If you can control your eating, your belly, I think it's Peter says, then you can control the other things that come up in your life. And that's the whole reason for the Lenten fast, is to learn to control your passions, and starting with your stomach. If you make yourself hungry, and then instead of going and grabbing something, ice cream out of the fridge, and just gobbling it all up, but dealing with your hunger in a different way, then you learn to control your passions, in this case, gluttony. So, you're living your life and you're doing fine and you're feeling good, but what is being ruled over by your passions? How much of your life is simply reacting to things in those ways and not controlling yourself. This is something to think about. And I will leave you with that today.